Hello everyone, Scott here. In this video I'm going to help you decide whether serviced accommodation is the right strategy for you. And I'm going to do this by giving you 3 questions. So when you see landlords exiting the buy-to-let sector, Section 24, the additional dwelling supplement, being treated badly by the government, an industry that's hated, and again tenants getting more and more rights. Not saying any of that is right or wrong, but what I'm saying is landlords are looking to other strategies. Serviced accommodation is probably the main one of those. So for landlords, we get lots and lots of calls every week at HQ here, and they're like, I'm a landlord, I want to do serviced accommodation. So over the years, having spoken to literally hundreds, easily hundreds of different landlords over the last 3 years, 4 years that want to do serviced accommodation with their buy-to-let, and they're shoehorning their buy-to-let into a serviced accommodation holiday home strategy. But the 3 things that I always ask them is these 3 things, and it's going to help you determine initially whether serviced accommodation is right for you. Now, the first one is, are you in this for the long term? So we get people saying, I'm going to do it for 6 months and then I'll move back, or I'll sell the property, or I'll trial it for 6 months. Serviced accommodation isn't something you can do for 3 months. Very, very rarely does it work. We manage it. We do it. We do manage to do units between university lets for 3 months, but we've been going for many years and can fill them with corporate bookings. Sticking them in online travel agents and trialing it for 3 months isn't going to work. What I like to say is we need a season. Every owner needs a season to make things work. So if you're putting a property on, I record this at the end of November. Now, if I trialed a property for 3 months, then that's the end of November, December, January, maybe February. You're probably not going to get a massive amount of bookings. And if you're trialing it for 3 months, the diary's finished at those 3 months. So if you're in it for the long term, 2-3 years, well, we can open the diary up that amount of time. So we'll see if we listed a property at the end of November. We're probably not going to get a lot of bookings for this year, but we might get, 20, 30 bookings for next year. You might have £30,000 of forward bookings out with your so-called trial period. So doing it for the short term just doesn't work. You can trial it and then perhaps it works and you open it up, but you're going to find that when you launch your unit, people will book in advance. So we ask people at least a year, but for me, when I'm launching units, we always say there's 3 phases: the launch stage, the growth phase, and maturity stage, and it's unlikely to get to the maturity phase within a short period of time. So you need to be in it for the long term. It needs to be a longer term strategy because we want to forward book properties well in advance for next year, get return bookings, all that type of thing. So if you're managing yourself, I would say don't do for 3 months. You're unlikely to have any success in that. You need to be in it for me, 3 years to make it work. Second, you need to be spending some money on this. It's not like being a landlord where you can just put the basics in. People underestimate how much it can cost to set up a serviced accommodation unit. We're talking all the furniture, everything that someone might need to stay for 6 months. If it's corporate let, for a couple of weeks, it's a holiday let. You're going to need everything down to things I didn't even know existed, like serving plates. Had no idea what a serving plate was. We need them in properties, fish slices, bottle openers, enough cutlery, 3 sets of bedding. These things add up. We want to provide our guests with as much stuff as possible. If we're doing it really basic, it's probably not going to succeed for us. Secondly, we're going to keep our properties up to standard when it comes to spending money. So as a buy-to-let landlord, you can perhaps let your tenant do whatever they want in the property for 5 years, and carpets and decor and painting don't need to be freshened up during that period because the tenant should really be doing it and taking care of it. You might need to freshen it up at the end of the tenancy, but that's expected. But as an owner, if there's a little mark in the carpet or a scuff in the wall, you're going to need to repair that, because imagine you going to a hotel room and seeing it looking grubby. So we want to be spending money on our investment. The more money we spend on it, the more money we can charge, the better reviews, the higher nightly rate, the more profit we make at the end of the month. So it's really important to invest some of your profits back in that on a monthly basis. Yes, guests are going to break a cup or smash a glass or steal a spoon, whatever that is. Waste a towel or some bedding because of fake tan or makeup or undisclosed body fluids. You're going to need to keep spending money in your apartment. So don't be shocked at that. Don't think you've spent your £5 grand to set it up and you don't need to touch it for 3 years. You're probably going to to need to keep that property updated every couple of months, spending some cash on it. And this goes for the people that are managing properties themselves. You need to be available 24/7. It isn't like a landlord where your tenant might phone you once or twice a year. Guests will phone you all manner of times. The times guests check in, normally between 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock on a Friday, depending on where your property is. So you do need to be available at those times. Never underestimate just how much guests will contact you, especially from overseas and other areas. The culture of somewhere like Korea or the Philippines or Thailand coming here, they're just not going to understand the things that we understand and be able to work things the same as us. So we're in hospitality, not property. We need to make sure our guests can get us 24/7. That includes Christmas Day. When I used to do the emergency phone for our properties, we get lots of calls on Christmas Day for things that are avoidable and guests just been daft, but you are there. Now, if you use a company like Pillow, then we just take that away. You give us your keys and we manage that property 24/7. You don't need to worry about that. And it's us that are always on call. And we're coming up to Christmas and we're doing the phone rota, so we have 3 people on Christmas Day, just simply to answer the phones for any guest inquiries, but that's going to need you. And if SA is the strategy for you and you're going to self-manage, what happens when you're sick? What happens when you're on holiday? What happens when you go out to a wedding and get drunk? All these things, all the infrastructure you have in place to deal with your guests, you need to really be there 24/7. So you either get a management agent to do it, or you get other people to cover you when you can't be there to answer your guest inquiries. But you're really going to piss guests off if they can't get in, and it's a simple fix, like they're putting the wrong code in or they're not operating the key box correctly and you don't answer your phone on a Friday night. They would need to then go to a hotel. They're going to give you a really bad rating. They're never going to use you again and you'll get punished by the portals. You'll need to reimburse them. So lots of reasons why you need to be pretty much in contact with your guests all the time. And I hear a lot of people saying, Scott, that's fine. I love that. And then 6 months later, they're coming to Pillow and they're saying, Scott, you were right, I hated it, it's not that fun. The novelty soon wears off of guests and saying the same thing time and time again. And again, some people just don't like dealing with guests. They don't like that over the top of it. Oh, that's in the back of their head, that guest might phone, I'm at a party tonight and I'm going to get drunk. That whole uncertainty of a guest and you don't know when they're going to contact you, they just don't like it hanging over their head. So we're always here to take that away. So if SA is right for you, then we find the 3 questions. 1, are you in it for the long term? Make sure you can get those bookings, build your property up to get the high occupancy in years going forward. Are you willing to spend a little bit of money to kit that property out and then ongoing to keep your property looking good? And again, if you're self-managing, are you able to commit and do you want to commit 24/7 to always have that phone there ready to answer to your guests? So hope this helps. Pillow are always here. Loads more videos to help you on your journey, especially if you're starting off and deciding whether service accommodation is right for you. Have a great night.